Hi, my name is John Marion. Welcome to Brockton, Massachusetts and USA Christmas Town.
We're going to USA Christmas Town. We're going to USA Christmas Town.
We're going to
USA Christmas Town.
I'm going to USA Christmas Town.
Wait, hold on, wait, I gotta get to USA Christmas Town. Wait.
Welcome to USA Christmas Town.
Hi, this is Brockton Mayor Bill Carpenter. Welcome to USA Christmas Town.
You're watching Sioux City Scoop.
You're watching Sioux City Scoop. You're watching Sioux City Scoop.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of Sioux City Scoop. I'm your host, Mayor Bill Carpenter. Thanks for joining us. This week here in the city, South Bay Mental Health hosted an open house and grand opening of their new facility on Commercial Street, across the street from the post office. Located in the historic and newly refurbished Scheib building, South Bay Mental Health offers a range of programs and services in the 4 floors of the building that they're occupying. Joining me for the open house was State Representatives Mike Brady and Claire Cronin, along with Senator Tom Kennedy and many others here from the Brockton community.
I come in here and I like to give back to South Bay and my peers for what they do for me. I volunteer and I serve lunch in the kitchen. That's great therapy for me. You know, I'll come in the morning and I'll clean the parking lot. That's great therapy for me. And a day at a time, you know, I can give back to people that do so much for me. So thank you all for being here.
I've seen people grow in this program so much, never mind myself, but I get excited for people, you know. Oh, Melissa, I'm 3 months sober, and I get chills, you know, like I'm a peer mentor here. I run peer recovery groups sometimes during the week, and I'm also a member of a 12-step program, and I try to help anyone I can. If I had my license back, I don't have it yet, I would get a big, huge bus and bring everybody to a meeting, because
First, have to comment on the building, because the building's beautiful. It's exciting for me to see this old factory brought back to life and, you know, find a 21st century purpose for a 20th century building, and seeing the way that the history's been restored in the building. I had a chance to tour the building right before you moved in, and Brophy and Phillips did an incredible job here. I want to thank everyone from South Bay for making the decision to move in here and renewing your commitment to the city. I know you've always had a commitment for the city. South Bay is this giant organization now, but I believe you started here about 28 years or so ago. So I think it's great for the city that you've renewed your commitment to the city by bringing all these resources under this roof here at the Scheib building. But really what's most important is what goes on inside the building, not the building. So I was inspired by David and Melissa. As the mayor, you try to help people on a daily basis. And I realized the critical need for behavioral health services, mental health services, substance abuse services, relapse prevention, domestic violence counseling, and all the other types of help that take place in this building. And it's critical for the quality of life of our city and for the folks that are here to get those services. So You know, it is one of our challenges. It's one of the focus of my first administration is to help us as a city do a better job of connecting people with the services that they need to get to. Because as many people as you're helping here today and all the great stories we have, there are a lot of other folks out there who still need assistance, and we've got to do a better job of getting them to the right spot so they can get that assistance. And there are positives. I mean, we've got, with the help of the legislative delegation, the senator and the representatives, you know, we've got a drug court coming to the Brockton District Court in the very, very near future, within a few weeks. I believe that's going to be a huge step for the city and the region. People that are stealing to support addiction need to get into treatment, not jail. And I think that drug court is going to be a vehicle that helps people get to places like this to get the support that they need. So we're looking right now in City Hall, and we're still tweaking it. But I'm trying to figure out how to have an office for addiction services out of the mayor's office so that we can have a highly trained person in City Hall that can help families and individuals get to wherever it is they need to get the support that they need. So the mission here is very important to us as a city. It's very important to me personally. So I want to thank everyone that works here for all the great work that you do, and South Bay for making this commitment to stay here in Brockton and continue to offer these services. Thank you.
It's a great day for Brockton to have them here. They've been here for a number of months. They've established themselves. They're growing. It's great to be in this beautiful, historic old shoe factory. I was just talking to Joe Stadelman, the owner, whose family bought it back in 1987. They've seen really a renaissance in this area as a result. So kudos to you, Joe.
We have registered nurses, we have licensed practical nurses, home health aides, supportive care aides, which service people with dementia and Alzheimer's. But you know, what we do is a lot of behavioral health and mental health. So it's a big issue with substance abuse.
I present the citation with much admiration and my strongest wishes that this will be a very successful and only spread their wings even farther.
And this has helped provide a lot of jobs for members of our community, which is so important, especially as we come out of these most difficult economic times. We do see things getting better, the economy is getting better, but there's still people that are hurting out there and people that want to go back to work.
Lord knows we have a need for these services in our community. So I appreciate everything, the great work that you and your folks are doing. And on behalf of the city, we very much want to say thank you for locating here in the City of Champions. Thank you.
In Brockton, we swing for the fences so we can touch home.
We coach in Brockton to instill the teamwork that builds a great winning tradition.
We do business in Brockton because here you can find a taste of home away from home.
We keep our company in Brockton because we love this city.
I study and learn in Brockton to achieve my goals.
When Brockton is home, everything is within reach. This week I had the chance to sit down with downtown business owners during the monthly Downtown Brockton Association meeting. A host of topics were covered, including future plans for the downtown, our city planning office led by city planner Rob May, and I was also joined by our Main Street manager Gary Leonard. We had a chance to talk about some of the plans, including the new business loan program to help small businesses get started, expand, and thrive here in the City of Champions. First of all, thank you very much for the commitment to bring the DBA golf tournament back to DW Field next year. This is really important to us. This has been one of our initiatives during the first year. I don't know how many of you may golf, but we have really made some significant improvements to the golf course this year. We're getting rave reviews about the improvements in the playing conditions there. We've added the ability to do functions. The tent just came down, but during June, July, and August, we will have a nice function tent set up outside. So now we can host tournaments and bring them right under the tent, and regardless of the weather, be able to host functions right there. There'll be an initiative coming forward in the near future, working with the state for both state and local tax credits for market rate housing downtown. We think that's an important initiative so that we're, from a planning perspective, building the atmosphere to have a cross-section of all types of folks living downtown. And we know that a portion of that housing being assured to be market rate housing is important. It's important to the folks in this room, people living downtown with disposable income that can do business downtown. So we think this market rate housing tax credit is going to be an important initiative there. We'll be bringing forward in the near future, and this is John with really the B21 taking the lead on this, along with planning, district improvement financing to create another source of tax revenue to be reinvested in the downtown for infrastructure improvements in the downtown that will continue to bring customers and businesses downtown. Those things are moving forward, and I think we'll talk about those maybe at a future meeting. A big part of our future depends upon startup businesses, entrepreneurs, immigrant-owned businesses, minority-owned businesses, women-owned businesses, and a lot of these businesses, particularly when they're in the early stages of their life, cannot go walking into the bank on the corner and just get a traditional loan, but they do have needs for capital. And particularly, and I know you're going to talk about several programs with SEED, but the microloan program I'm really excited about, because that microloan program I think is just a really important piece of the puzzle for us, for particularly small businesses, young and emerging businesses here in the city that just need a certain amount of capital to buy that piece of equipment, to lease some additional square footage next door, to do those things. So I think when we put this along with, and I know everyone knows Gary, but I've got to give Gary a plug. Gary, one of the other commitments I made to you that day is that we'd have a Main Street manager. And here we are 9 months later, and we've got a great Main Street manager. Not a good one, a great one. Gary's doing incredible work. And as Gary's working, attracting businesses to the Main Street business corridor, helping existing businesses to expand in the Main Street corridor, one of the tools we need is the ability to help some of these small business owners in particular access some capital to build and grow their business so that they expand here, they thrive here, they hire employees here, and they grow deep roots here in the city. So anyone that knows anyone that has a business here in the city that could use any type of support, Gary's doing a lot of different things, and he's helping us really here in the downtown and in Campello, both initially starting out. Gary's doing a tremendous amount of work. But this loan program is one of the real important things that, thanks to our friends at Southeastern Economic Development, they've brought these business loan programs into the city. And I think particularly the microloan program is really, really critical. Welcome back to Shoe City Scoop. This week, a press conference was held here in City Hall to announce the formation of the Justice for Carl Fund. In addition to the announcement of a $5,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the driver who left the scene of the accident that claimed the life of Carl Yancey here on Belmont Street on the evening of September 28th. District Attorney Tim Cruz, Police Chief Bob Hayden, and myself were joined by Carl Yancey's mother, Darrell Ellison, for the announcement. On or about 9:30 p.m. on the evening of September 28th, on Belmont Street here in Brockton, across the street from the Shaw's Supermarket, Carl Evan Yancey, an outstanding young man, resident of our city, was struck and killed by a motor vehicle. And to this day, the driver left the scene of the accident, and to this day, we still are not sure of the identity of that driver. And so the purpose of this press conference today really is to keep this investigation in the front of the public's mind and to ask for the public's assistance in providing any information that could help the investigators identify the driver of the vehicle so that we can have someone held accountable and get an accounting of the accident that evening.
My name is Tim Cruz, and I've had the privilege of being the district attorney here in Plymouth County for the last 13 years. With me today is also Captain Scott Warmington of the Massachusetts State Police, who is assigned to this case in conjunction with also the Brockton Police. And once again, as the Mayor just said, we are seeking the public's assistance in helping to find and prosecute the person and or persons who are responsible for striking and killing Carl Evan Yancey with that motor vehicle. As the Mayor just said, this occurred on September 28th, about 9:20 p.m., when Carl Evan Yancey, aged 31 years of age, was struck by a motor vehicle as he was crossing Belmont Street here in the city of Brockton. The vehicle that struck him did not stop. This was 4 days before his 32nd birthday. At about 9:23 that night, the state police received multiple calls that a man had been struck on Belmont. The Brockton police were alerted. They were rushed to the scene. Upon arrival, Mr. Yancey was being tended to by the EMTs and the great work by the Brockton Fire Department. State police detectives assigned to my office were notified and responded to the scene. The State Police Crime Scene Services Section and State Police CARS, which stands for Collision Analysis Reconstruction Section, also responded to assist in the investigation. Carl was transported to the Good Samaritan Hospital where he arrived in cardiac arrest. He had sustained significant injuries, and despite all life-saving attempts by the great staff at Good Sam, Carl Yancey was pronounced dead at 10:10 p.m. An autopsy by the Office of the Medical Examiner determined that the cause of death was blunt force trauma injuries. State and Brockton police went to work immediately. Witnesses were located and asked to give the best descriptions of any motor vehicles that they could. A canvass was done of the businesses in that area with surveillance cameras. Video was recovered that shows the victim leaving the 7-Eleven store and shows him again after being struck. The frame skips and then the victim is seen laying on the ground. Video was also obtained of what appears to be a silver or gray vehicle, possibly a minivan, leaving the area after the victim was struck. On October 3rd, 2014, we released a video of that vehicle. Investigators are seeking to speak with the operator of that silver or gray minivan that passed eastbound through the intersection of Belmont and West Street, the area of the 7-Eleven and the Shaw supermarket, at about 9:22 p.m. It is believed that the operator and occupants, if any, of this vehicle may have information regarding this incident. A link to that video can be found on my office website. Some debris left at the point of impact suggests that the vehicle struck Mr. Yancey may have sustained some wheel well or bumper damage as a result. So if you own a body shop, if you have seen a vehicle like the one that has been sent out there, we want to hear from you. If a car in your neighborhood matches the description of this car and damage, we want to know. If someone has told you something or has told you they might have hit something, please talk to us. Make sure that anyone with information reaches out to either the State Trooper Joseph Khalil at the State Police Detectives Unit at 508-947-8087 or the Brockton Police Detective Unit at 508-941-0234. Tips can be anonymous. Mr. Yancey's family deserves answers about what happened to him. And people should understand that here in our county and here in the city of Brockton, that we solve our cases. Our homicide cases are at a 90% clearance rate over the last 12 years. I'm always confident, I am always optimistic that we will get the individual or individuals that may have information about this and bring those people to justice. Slow and steady wins the race, and I expect that we will at some point. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. District Attorney. As the District Attorney mentioned, the District Attorney's Office is the lead investigator on the case, but the City of Brockton detectives are working side by side along with the state troopers to get this crime, get this mystery solved. So I would like to also invite up at this time to the podium the Brockton Chief of Police, Bob Hayden.
Thank you very much. I think we should take the opportunity here today to put a human face on the tragedy that occurred. And standing to my right is Darrell Ellison, the mother of Carl Yancey, who has gone through a terrible, terrible time. And I hope that she accepts our sincere condolences for what happened. We won't rest until we find the person that took her son from her that night. I also want to say thank you to the district attorney for his outstanding cooperation in this. The mayor, obviously, Peter DeRowan from United Food and Commercial Union Local 791, Cindy Garnett, Vice President of Shaw's. I was recently the victim of a pretty bad accident myself, and sometimes you read about things in the paper, they don't really strike a chord until you've been knocked down yourself. I kind of know more about this stuff now than I did before June 22nd, and we're here to try to find the person that did this to this beautiful lady, and thank you for all your help. Thank you. You want to say something?
Yes.
Okay.
Good afternoon. First, I'd like to thank the mayor and the state police and the DA's office and the Brockton police for all their support, for Shaw's Supermarkets for what they've done for us in the aftermath of my son's death. And then I'd like to make an earnest appeal to the public that if you have any information that may help solve this crime, please do. The one thing I like to do is Carl Evan lived a wonderful life, and I'm so humbled by all that outpouring of love and support that we've received, but he deserves justice, and we can only receive it with your help. So please, if you have any information whatsoever that might help law enforcement solve this crime, please do so as soon as possible. Thank you.
To Darrell, to Mrs. Ellison, just what an inspiration you've been to me and to many other people, because she has handled this most impossible to imagine set of circumstances with grace and dignity and composure. And Carl was an outstanding young man. I don't think it's hard to understand where that came from. So thank you so much for being the person you are during this very difficult time.
Thank you, Mayor.
The reminder, we do need to raise funds for the Justice for Carl Fund. Any branch of Harbor One, just walk in with the money or a check and tell them it's for the Justice for Carl Fund. You can mail a check to the 68 Legion Parkway, Harbor One branch, Brockton, Mass. 02301, or donate online at youcaring, youcaring, youcaring.com/Justice for Carl. And we would like to raise this $5,000 as quickly as we can so that the money is there and we can return the money that's been put in there so far. And then finally, just an appeal from me to everyone in the city of Brockton, anyone who gets this message, someone out there knows something, that one little piece of information that will allow the state troopers and the detectives to solve this case. It could be noticing that a car next door kind of disappeared right around that time. It could be seeing a vehicle go in a garage. It could be knowing someone in a body shop. It could be remembering something, being in that vicinity of Shaw's on the night of the 28th and perhaps remembering something that they're not aware of. Because this just is, I can't imagine what it's like for you, Darrell, because it's been difficult for me. I can't imagine what it's like for you to not know exactly what happened and to have this feeling that in this city someone can drive away and leave a person to die on the side of the road and not be held accountable. And that's not going to be allowed to happen. And we're going to do everything we can possibly to support the district attorney, to support the Brockton Police Department, in helping them get this crime solved. So please, if you have any information, call the state police troopers assigned to District Attorney Cruz's office, or you can call the Brockton Police Detectives 508-941-0234. And I think, would you like to make a final comment, Mrs. Ellison?
You know, I'm very hopeful that together the community can solve this problem, solve the crime. And again, I am deeply, on behalf of my family, deeply, deeply grateful for the outpouring of love and support that you have given us. That has helped us immeasurably. So again, thank you, and please, if you have any information, please notify the authorities.